So today we are going to discuss about the NumPy. So in NumPy, what will happen? Like it's a numerical Python. So NumPy is called as numerical Python. Full form of NumPy will be numerical Python, and short form they gave as a NumPy. So what is NumPy? NumPy is a Python library using working with the arrays. So data will be there in a form of arrays, zero dimensional, one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional. The data will be there organized in a arrays, and then you can work with the arrays. It also has the functions for working in a domain of linear algebra. So wherever like mathematical terms will come, like linear algebra and all, their NumPy will be very, very famous, or Fourier transformation and matrices. So matrices like you may studied in your 9th, 10th standard or in the engineering part or somewhere. So you have already learned what is linear algebra. 11th, 12th also it was the linear algebra, and then matrices and whatever the other data will be there. So NumPy will be very important in AI or the data science. You will have a linear expression or some other in data science it was there, so I learned long back, so I remember a little bit. It also has a function for working in a domain like linear algebra, Fourier transform, and matrices. NumPy was created in 2005 by Travis Oliphant. It is an open source project and you can use it for freely. So like we can use it with the Python, NumPy stands for the numerical Python, as I told you. Why use NumPy? In Python, we have a list that serve the purpose of arrays. So you have list, we have discussed list earlier. So you have list will be slow in a process, guys. List will be slow in a process, whereas NumPy will be little bit faster compared to the list element. So you can use arrays also in a kind of list, but it will be slow in a process. But your NumPy, it will be faster. So in Python, we have lists that serve the purpose of arrays, but they are slow in process. NumPy aims to provide an array object that is up to 50 multiple of 50 faster than traditional Python list. So see, the NumPy is faster compared to the Python list, not one time, two times, it's 50 times it will be faster. The array object in NumPy is called an n-dimensional array. N-dimensional array. It provides a lot of supporting functions that make working with an n-dimensional array very easy. So array are very frequently used in the data science where speed and resources are very important. So as I told you that in data science, array and matrices and all will be used frequently to make the data readable purpose or the to predict the any data set and all. So those things are there. Why NumPy faster than list? NumPy arrays are stored at one continuous place in the memory like list. So process can access and manipulate them very efficiently. This behavior is called a locality of reference in computer science. This is the main reason why NumPy is faster than list. This is the main reason why NumPy is faster than list. Also, it is optimized for the work with the. So we don't have to go that much in detail. So the important NumPy is once NumPy is installed, or import it in the your application by using or adding import. Like you can use import NumPy. NumPy library will be imported. So wherever you will use, you can use import NumPy, and then or you can then work with the NumPy in the Python or any other data science tool and all. So import NumPy, and then we are creating a NumPy. We are creating an array with some element. So this is the one kind of array, example of array, and then NumPy array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So instead of mentioning again and again NumPy, we have a NumPy as a NP. NP alias you can use it. While importing NumPy, we can say that import NumPy as NP, and wherever you have to mention NumPy, you can use NP. So it is a universal understood that this is the NP stand for the NumPy, just for the alias. You can give other alias also and you can use it. But NP is nothing but it's like in a Python or a Python NumPy. It is understood that it is for the NumPy only. So NumPy, if I want to run this one, then we can run it like this. When we'll run it, we'll get whatever the elements are there in this number. Okay. So this is the array value. Whatever you have passed, it will be executed fastly compared to list. It will be 50 times more faster than a list. NumPy as a NP means you can use the NP as alias, like import NumPy as NP, like same thing here. And then instead of mentioning again and again NumPy, you can use NP. It will give you the same output. It will give you the same output. Whatever we have used, it will give you the same output. Okay, same output, you got it. So next one is like create a NumPy with n-dimensional array. So we can see that like zero-dimensional array, then your one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array. You can create a number of dimensional array. So NumPy is used for work with the array. The array object in NumPy is called n-dimensional array. We can create n numpy n-dimensional object by using array function. Array function. So import numpy as np, then array. This is the data frame we are creating, and variable mean to say that np dot array, and then you can pass n dimensional array, zero dimensional, one dimensional, two dimensional. If you don't know what is array in mathematics, please Google it out. You will understand how the dimensions, arrays work. So print array, and then what is the type of this array, that also you will be able to print it. More complex level of program will see end of the data engineering course. So I'm just preparing the document for the more complex types of programs on the Python, so that you can use those programs, you can practice those documents, and then based on that you are gonna attend the interviews. So till now, wherever I've seen the people are taking sessions and all, they are not teaching OOPS concept in Python. So till functions only, it is more than sufficient, and these topics are more than sufficient. If anything will be there, we'll see in the future. So import NumPy as NP, in the same thing it will be there. So dimensions in array. So zero dimensional array, which will have only one element. Zero dimensional array or scalars are the element in the array. Each value in any array is a zero dimensional array. Create a zero dimensional value with the 42. And if you see that this is the type of zero dimensional array. Zero dimensional array means one element will be there, or empty array will be there, that will be considered as zero dimensional array. And you can mention array to create the array. One dimensional array, you can have multiple values here, and it will be considered as one dimensional array. Two dimensional array, you will be mentioning the values in a two brackets. Two brackets. Two dimensional array, an array that has one dimensional array. Just a second. An array that has one dimensional array and its element is called two dimensional array. These are often used These are often used to represent matrix or second order tensor. NumPy has a whole submodule. Just wait. NumPy has a whole submodule dedicated toward the matrix operation called NumPy matrix. So there are something like if you want to work with the NumPy and matrix together, then you can use the library NumPy matrix that you can explore if you want. So we are going to create the two-dimensional array where like first element will be 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. And then if you see here, it will be printed as a two-dimensional array. This will be considered as two-dimensional array where your value will be mentioned here. So if you remember in your school time, if you remember your school time, how it was written 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 like this, and then something like this it was. Okay. So matrices also kind of same thing only. If you Google it out, If you'll Google it out, then again it will be arrays. Now you see here like this, your arrays will be there. Something like this, the array will be organized properly. Okay. And then multiplication also, it will be done through the one element to another element. All these things are there like this. Okay. So just explore more on the NumPy and then do practice. We have used syllabus, so you have to also put more effort to, learn in a detailed level if you want to learn in a detailed level. Then where it went. Three-dimensional array where like you will have multiple dimensions here. So an array that has two-dimensional array as an element is called a three-dimensional array. These are often used in the represent third and order tensor. Create a third-dimensional array with the two-dimensional array. So you have this is one dimension and this is one dimension, which will be considered as a three-dimensional array. So this is an example of one two-dimensional array, and this is an example of one two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional, two-dimensional, if you write together, it will be treated as third dimension, three-dimensional array. Uh, Check the number of dimensions, what are the dimensions are there in each element. So if you want to check, then a dot n dimension and dim will work, where you will be able to find that how many types of dimensions it will have. So when you learn, you will be able to see that first one is having zero dimension, then second one is one dimension, this one is second dimension, and then this is the third dimension. So these are the NumPy. If you want, uh, you know, yeah. So NumPy, access array. How will you access the array in the NumPy? Okay, so simple, same thing indexing will work here. Same thing indexing will work here. So if you want to access any element in the array, then same thing you can pass 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the one dimensional array, and then it will give you whatever the value will be there at the zero position. So same thing for the if you want to get third and fourth element from the following order and add them. If you want to get second and third and fourth element, and you want to add those elements, you can do perform like this also. The simple addition method will work here, and you will be able to add these two values. 4 plus 3, it will be 7. Access second dimensional array. How will you access the second dimensional array? So you have to pass it like 0, comma 1. 0, comma 1, and then you will be able to access it. The I guess it will be second. So when you will write it 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2 like this. So in the zeroth element, then first one. It will go and it will check zero row and then which number for second number of values. So if I say that print third number, then it's supposed to print 4 here, 4 here. So 4, 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will be printed here. And if I go with the 8 or 8 out of boundary from this, then it will print it is saying that you have to fix it here with the one row number one, and it will be out of boundary, I guess. It will be out of boundary. So let me print the second element, third element in that. So now you are printing as a second element. So this first row will be at the 0, starting will be 0, and this will be at the first position. And then if you, whatever the items you want to access, if you want to access here this one, then you have to first values you have to mention 0, and then whichever the element you want to mention, that index you have to give here. Then this one will stand for the first row, second row. Okay, second row. And then whatever the element you want to mention, that you can accept here. Then we have import numpy as np and access the element on the second and fifth column that we have done. Access to the third element. How we are going to access the third element? So third element will be little bit uh, confusing. Let's see that how it works. Okay. So 0, 0, uh, 0, and then 1. Where the 6 we have? 0, 1, and 2. So second element in the second row. Second element in the second row. Sorry, third element in the second row. So first 0, first row. In the first row also, we have the second column and then in that third value. So consider that if I give here, if I want to print same thing as a 9, can we give here 1, 1, 1, 2? So it's printing as a 12. So it's going to the, so this one, last one, as it was printing earlier, this one. So it will be considered as a second row and then second. If we'll mention here 0, then it will print 9. Then it will print 9. Then it will print 9. So 0 will stand for the first row and then 1 will stand for the second row, this one. And then in this, which one you want to access? 0 or 1? 0 or 1? 0 or 1? So if you mention here 0 row and I want to access first element, then we can give 0, 0 and then I guess 0 element. Then it will give the first element. If I want to access this one here, then 0 row only, but second part of it, 0 row, second part of it. And then first element I want to access. So like this, it will work, 4. And then if I want to access this one, then we have to change here 1, and then we have to make it here as a 0 in the second row, and then this part I want to access. So first part. So when I'll say that this one, so 7 we are able to access. And then second row in the second row, okay, second values in the second row, like I want to access the 10 here. Then I guess we have to change here 1 and then this 0 will be like this only. And then when I'll run this one, it will print 10. So hope you understood like how we are going to get the data. So this one will be 0, 0, 0. This one will be 0, 1, 0 only. And this one will be 1, 0, 0. Okay. And this one will be 1, 1, 0. 1, 1, 0. So hope you remember this point. Do practice until unless you will not do practice, you will not able to get it. So you can use the from the two-dimensional array if you want to print any set of values. So indexing will work here. Joining NumPy arrays will be like you can use the concatenate method and you can join two arrays element. Two arrays element you can join using concatenate method. So when I use this one, array 1 is having 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 and we have this one. So if I make it as a duplicate, then what will be the values? Duplicate, then whether it is going to remove anything. No, it will give the same as it is how you have the values here. So like this, you will get it. So just explore more on this one. So this is NumPy overview, basic of NumPy overview. And we'll see now pandas. We'll try to cover it, pandas. So pandas, what is the problem? No, you have to practice pandas in your PyCharm you have to install. PyCharm you have to install. Just refer to YouTube video and install PyCharm and then you can practice pandas in that. So what I tried in the last class, pandas, but it did not work out much. Like somewhere we got that it's not working like after few things. So those things are there. So So what I'll explain you. Um, by detach again. So consider that we have a file. So we have a file. So you have to keep this file in one place. So consider that we have the file data. Okay. So this one is the file we have. So in this locations we have the file. So what we can do here, you can open and then see duration, pulse, max pulse, and calories are there. So in this we have some 100 values are there. More than 100, only 160, 170 values are there. So this is the, if you observe the this one, no, some of the values are not proper. Some of the values are not proper. So somewhere date and all will be there. So let's uh, we'll see that one later. Date is different one. So if you want to export this one, so take it that like this. The path you take it as like this, and then you place it here, and then the data will be exported. The data will be exported. Consider that I'm running this one. So it will go in from my local drive. It will be able to access it. No such file or directory. Let me create one more folder. Hmm, pandas data, something like this, and then we'll copy and then save it. And then we'll copy this path and we'll run here. So let me see. Okay, somewhere is the column. Okay, so data.csv, data.csv.csv. Okay, so no worries. So that's what, like, it's not working here in this one. So PyCharm you have to install and then you have to work on that one. So we'll see the functionality of your how your pandas work. So in the W3 school, I found it very easy to understand. So that's why I'm considering this pandas from the W3 school to understand the basic thing. If you know already pandas earlier, then find out more complex programs in pandas and do practice. But if you don't know, like, then understand what a pandas will do. Okay. So Pandas is a Python library. Panda is used to analyze data. Analyze data in the sense like what? In ETL testing or any kind of testing, no, where like you have to analyze the data, how the data are there. Then Pandas will be very useful. People use PySpark also to analyze the data, but Pandas also they are using it. So sometimes what happen, like, these are the concept you should know if you are working on any data engineering or data sciences or AI tools kind of development things. So what exactly your pandas will be? So pandas will have getting started with pandas series, and then data frames, then read CSV, how we are going to read the CSV, read JSON, and then analyze data. Then cleaning data, how can you clean the data? Then clean empty cells, clean wrong format, clean wrong data, remove duplicate. Advanced level is correlations and plotting. So we'll see that if time permits, we'll see that how can we correlate the data from each other. Like if any, we will have the outbox data, outbound data, or inbound data. Like consider that one row is there, salary is there. So salary is 10,000, 12,000, 11,000, 9,000, like that in the range. Everyone is getting salary. Some of the value is like 50 lakh salary. One of the persons is updated as 50 lakh salary. So your complete correlations or predictions with it will be as spoiled, because other people they are getting as a 9,000, 10,000 salary, and someone if is getting 50 lakhs out of 100 record, then definitely your predictions will spoil. So what those things are there, like in data science, they are removing those outbound data, and then they will make proper correlations with the all other data. So plotting is like matplotlib, and then tabular and all these things are there. So those things also will see if time permits. So now we are going to start with the introduction of the Python. So what exactly the pandas? So pandas is nothing but panda is in the Python library used working with the data set. So wherever the you will have the data set, in the CSV file or .txt file or the XML file. So you can download or you can get it from the other places. Consider that you have a table, and in the table you have the data. You have the data in the table, and you want to work with those data. Okay. So using pandas, you can work on those data as well. You can work with the PySpark also. So pandas also, like you're supposed to know that how we are gonna work with the panda. It has functions for analyzing, cleaning, exploring, and manipulating data. So these are the actions you can perform using pandas. The name pandas has a reference to the both panel data and then Python data analysis, and was created by the pandas is panel data, and then if you'll if you'll merge together with the all these things, then they have given name as a pandas. So it's not pandas like we'll have the Chinese people will have the pandas. It's not that. It's like pandas, like panel data and all these things. So why use pandas? Pandas allows to analyze big data and make a conclusion based on the statistical theory. So you can analyze the data, and then you can, if you have data set and then you want to make a corrections, you can use the pandas. Pandas can clean messy data set and make them readable and relevant. So relevant data is very important in the data science. For the data science, like anything, or you're anyway you're going as a working as a data engineering or the ETL testers and all. So what happened like in the data engineering, like whatever the data they will prepare, then it will be considered as a raw data for the data science team as well as the AI team. So for the further layer for the data analyst or the report generation, or for the data science team or AI, it will be whatever the on the data you will work, and then you will modify, you will transform the data, and then you will correct the data. It will be considered raw data for the further layer. So you will receive the raw data from the source side, but whatever the data you will work, that will be your final data, which will be considered as a raw data for the data science team and all. So
Yeah,
what can Panda do? Yeah.
Jay, I have one doubt. Like the program you showed right now, right? Like you're trying to open the file which is placed in local drive,
Mm.
but you're accessing that file using a virtual environment, right? So how
Yeah.
come Python interpreter knows to open the file from the local drive?
You have given the path, correct? Like, and if you see here, we have given the path. So what happened, like, that is the beauty of your pandas. You have mentioned the pandas, and then you have given the path here, correct? Like you go and then access C drive, users admin desktop, Python nodes, all this path you have already shared.
Yes, yes. But I'm expecting that somewhat libraries written in the pandas, right? To connect with our local drive.
We'll see that one in future when we'll discuss the Databricks, no? There we'll see. So more functions if you want, like these are the functions will be there, which you are gonna use, and then like it will have the index, and then if data is coming into the integer like numeric, sorry, in string format, then you can use the inter schema as a true, then it will come as a proper data. Like if it's a date, then date data type will come, and then wherever like you see the floating, it will come float and all these things. So those things we'll see in some time. Just hold for some time. So I may like I have not installed PyCharm because already I was having so many Python interpreters, so I just left it. So Pandas is like and then PySpark also will discuss in your Databricks. So there you will be able to access your local drive and all. So don't worry on that part. Just Pandas, you just refer it, basics thing. That's all.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you.
where the pandas code base, like it will be, we don't need. Pandas getting started. Installation of pandas, like you can do it. You can install the NumPy, not NumPy, PyCharm, and in that you try to give the whatever the link are there. So what I'll do, whatever the data set we have, I have three data sets. I'll share you this data set, three data set in your drive, and you can download and then accordingly you can do it. So now you have the what is the series. So in pandas we have two types of you can store the two subtypes you can store the data. One is series. In form of series you can store the data, or in the form of data frame you can store the data. So a panda series is like a column in a table. So it will have single values. Like in the series, you will have the single values. So whatever the column you will have, no, single column that will be considered as a series in a panda. It is a one-dimensional array holding data of any data type. So one-dimensional, we have seen that only one single row will be there. So that is what it will act like a column only. So import pandas as PD, a is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we are creating this as in series method. So we have the series, but like series are very old method, and it's not famous enough. It is not famous in nowadays. So it will be you can use data frame will be much important for the pandas. So you see here, these are the series you are making. It's like a column data you are accessing it. If I add multiple data and all these things, so it will be treated as it will be added with the same column, and in a long format you are getting the data. Labels, if you want to find the what position the values are, same way indexing will work here, and you will be able to find like at what position the data is at the zero position or one position or second position. So it will give you all these things. So at the zero position or first position, the first data is there. So you will get like create label. So if you want to create a label, like this is at the x is equals to 1, and then y is equals to 7, and z is equals to 2, then you can use the label method, index method. So what happened in the index method, you are going to give index to each and every element for the series, whatever the series is there. And you are declared the series with the series method. So now you are indexing x, y, z as 172. And if you want to access x, y, z, single value, you can tell the index name. It will be accessed using the index name as well. I'm making a little bit faster. So 7, y value is 7 as we have given the index. So you can print the index also. Key value object as series. So you can use the key and value pair like how we have seen in a dictionary. Like that also you can print, and then you can find the what is the day one value, what is the day two values. Like that also you can access the values here. So day one, day two, day three, and then a number of when you will have real time scenarios, it will have like multiple values will be there. So you can access like this your day one, day two, day three, day four, day five data you can pass, and then you will get it all this indexing. So you can create the index, and then you will be able to get the data as per that. So like whatever the value it will return, so those data will be stored in this variable, and then you can print this variable. Okay, so next one, how you're gonna create the data frames? How you're gonna create the data frame? Data sets in a pandas are usually multi-dimensional tables called data frames. So data frames will have the multi-dimensional tables. So like uh, this one value. So we have seen that what is one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional arrays. It will have also multiple dimensional data set, which will be treated as a data frame. Series is like a column, but a data frame will be whole table. So it will have n number of columns and n number of rows will be there. How you have the database will have the one table will have n number of rows and n number of columns. So same way your data frame also can have n number of n number of columns like this. Consider that this is the column, and then column value will be like this. and then another column is like this, and then we have the this value. And then if you want to print, you have to declare this as a uh, data frame. So what about the data? Which data is containing two parameters? So calories and duration. So calories and duration is having these values, and duration is having these values. Now data is storing this kind of data set. Data variable is storing this kind of data set, and then I want to make this variable as a data frame. So simple PD means pandas, and then data frame, we are going to create this variable as a data frame. So when you will create this data as a data frame, it will be treated as a n-dimensional array data. So in a tabular form, you will get the data. In the tabular form, you will get the data. So first column, which will have these are the rows, and then we have the second column, which are having 50, 40, 45 rows. Then you have Pandas data frame. What is data frame? A Pandas data frame is two-dimensional data structure like two-dimensional array or table with a rows and columns. So this is the two-dimensional arrays where like two, columns and rows will be there. It can have, I guess, more number of columns also, and especially they have mentioned as a two-dimensional data structure. So it can have multiple columns, and then each column will have the data, like how you have the data tables in the databases. A pandas data frame is a two-dimensional array, like two-dimensional array or table with the rows and columns. Like multiple rows you can have, and then those columns value you can add it. So same thing what we have seen, load data into the data frame object. So you're loading the data into your data frame object, and then this data frame df represent as a this data frame is created, and then the value is stored inside the df. And if you want to print, it will give you in this format. Now locate rows. So if you want to locate the rows, same thing. You can use the LOC, and then you'll be able to locate at what position which element are there. As you can see them from the result table, the data frame looks like a table with rows and columns. Pandas uses locus LOC attribute to locate one or more specified rows. So like this, you can find out what are the values are there. At the zero position, our first value is 450, 450 and 50. Calories 450, and then duration 50 minute or 50 second, whatever it may be. So like this, also you can pass 0 and 1, and then it will return uh, first 0, and then second value 40 minutes or 38, 380 calories. Named index. So you can add the index also for data frame, like 450, 50 minute, 420 will be considered as a day one workout. So every day, how much calorie you are burning and how much time you do the exercise, consider that this is the data frame will have the result. So day one, 50 minutes I have done the workout, and then 420 calories I have burned. And for this like index, if columns, if you add the, it will be considered as day one, day two, day three, like that. You can add all these values. So you, if you want to locate those name index, just a simple, instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, you can mention the which day you want to print. It will give you day two. It was a 40-minute workout, and then 380 calories burned. Load the files into the data frame. How you're going to load the data into data frame. So as I told you that you can keep your files, whatever the locations you want to keep it. And then from that locations, you can pass the path to your PyCharm, and then you'll be able to work on that one. So I tried with the PyCharm. Uh, I would try with what was I was using in the Anaconda. I forgot only. PyTest, I guess. So that place, it was not, I was not able to upload it. So I tried with the database. Somehow it was working, but it was not giving the analysis purpose, how we can analyze the data, or it was not removing the null values and all this thing. So that's why I thought like, let me explain here only. So consider that this data set is having, you have some values are there. Your data set is having some values are there. So if you see here, import panda as PD and df is equals to PD dot read underscore CSV. So you're going to read the CSV and you're passing the data set here. So as W3 school will have this data set ready. So if you want, you can copy this one and then you can make it as a in your Excel, and then you can make it as a .csv format. How can you make it the CSV format? Very simple. If you want to copy any data, so copy it from here and then go and open your Excel. So new Excel worksheet and name it whatever you want to name it. Open it and then you can store here the data. So it's not storing, or you can do it like this also. Data CSV here. Like this, you can copy. Okay, and then the two ways are there. So either you can use this one, either you can use here, you can copy here, and then you can save this one as a .csv. Like I'm going to save this one as a .csv. Databricks will have so many things will be there. Consider that data.csv, you can save it in the CSV format, and your data will be saved in CSV format here. Or else you can copy here and then this one also you can save it as a .csv format. It's taking in one space, so leave this one, and you can save it whatever you see here. No, you can paste into the your Notepad plus plus, and then you see it's copied properly with the all these things. So like this, you can save it. Database will have lots of things based on this one. Now I started paying. Okay. So you are going to read the CSV file. If it's a .txt file, then read underscore txt files will be there. But as of now, you work on the CSV file only. Pandas read CSV file. So how can you read the CSV file? So this is the method pd.read underscore CSV. By this method, you will be able to read the CSV file. And if you want to print all the element, if you want to print all the element, then two underscore string will work out here. Two underscore string will work out here. So load the data into data frame. So a simple way to store big data set into our DSV files, comma separated files. CSV file contains plain text and is a well-known format that can be read by everyone, including pandas. In our example, we are using CSV file called data CSV. So this data CSV is having some items, maybe 168 items are there. And we have one method, toString, use two underscore string to print entire data frame. So if you want to print entire data frame, then you are going to use a two underscore string data frame. So two underscore string. So if you'll use this one, no, it will give you like this data frame will be there. So if you use two underscore string method, then it will give you complete data set, and you can use this interpreter also. So it will print whole data set. Sorry, df.string. So now see, whole data set is printed. If you want to print whole data set, then this two underscore string will be useful. And Max rows, the number of rows returned in a defined in Python option settings. You can check your system maximum rows with max one. So what it will give? How many total rows are there? 60 it will return. If you will set this parameter, then you will get whatever is there, all items you will get here. So when you will set like this, whatever the data is there, like you will get all. If I'll make it as a 999, then also it should give all the data. And we are giving as up to 10,000 record. You give me all the values, so it will display all these values. So if you want to read the JSON file, if you want to read the JSON file, then read underscore JSON you have to mention, and then it will read the JSON file here. So JSON file which will have data in different format, not in CSV format. So the JSON file, the database can read the CSV file, but as it will be a structured format. But the JSON file, JSON team will be there, source team will be there, which will modify your JSON file into the data frame. So now you see here, you can load the JSON file also in the proper, data frames manner, like rows and columns format. And if you see the JSON file format, so it will be totally different. Like it will have all the details. So what is the primary key and all these things it will be mentioned. So JSON file examples. So if you see here, it's kind of dictionary you will be able to find it. See, so each and everything will be it will be very difficult to uh, observe it, the JSON file. But your how your CSV files are there, it is very normal. Now see, categories, city, all these things in a uh, kind of dictionary format. Dictionary as a JSON. So JSON is equals to Python dictionary. JSON objects have the same format as Python dictionary. As I told you that by seeing the data, you'll feel that it is having the kind of dictionary method. So when you want to print it as a data model, then you can print the in the data method also. Now next one is like how to analyze the data. So this is very important in your pandas. So if you want to view the data, initial 5 record, or if you want to find, you can mention here in the head method, if initial 5 record, 10 record, 20 record, if you want to find, so then it will be, you can use the head method, and then when you pass 10 here, if you want to print only 10 record, then you will print here 10 record. Consider that you have a lots of data is there in this data set, millions of records is there, and you want to just see one item or initial only 5 records you want to see, then you can print like head, and then you can analyze how your data looks like in real time scenario. You know what happened when you will be working on any data set or any tables and all. So each time if you will say select a star from table name, no, if it's a millions of record will be there, it will take so much time to give you the input. So but if you use top or limit 1 or 10 record, then it will give you a little bit faster those values, because it will give you initial 5 record or 10 record only, where you will be able to see that data, how this data is formatted. So initial level only you will be able to know that how your data looks like, how your data looks like. So those things are there. Now, So if you'll give head method only, so it will give you by default 5 records only. Okay, another method is like if you want to see last 5 record or 10 record from the data set, then you'll use the tell method. And in this, you'll be able to mention how many records you want, how many records you want. So if you want 10, last 10 record, then you will give 10 here. It will print last 10, last 10. Okay. So like this, like last 10 record, it is shown. Now, next one is how can you clean the data? How can you clean the data? So if you want to clean the data, if you want to clean the data, then consider that your data will have so many, impurities will be there. So now if we see here, date format is having one empty cells are there. Empty cells or it is mentioned as NaN. Okay. Somewhere the wrong format, date format is wrong here. Somewhere wrong date format is there. So these are the impurities are there. So it is the outbound here, like 450 by it's happened typo. Now 60, 45, 45, and 1 plus 455. So they're supposed to enter 45, but they have entered 450. So here is the null values. So these are the impurities. If you want to filter out from the data set, then you're gonna use pandas cleaning method. So what are the things you can clean using pandas? So bad data could be empty cells, data in a wrong format, wrong data, duplicate data. So all these things you can use it. Then we have okay. In this tutorial, we will learn how to deal with the all of them. So just give me 5 minutes, we'll complete it and then we'll close it. So consider that your data set it looks like incorrect date format or the empty date and then this side and this side. All these things are there. One outbound is there. So all these things are there, data set. Now how you're going to clean this one? So Panda is cleaning empty cells. So empty cells is what? Empty cells can potentially give you a wrong result when you analyze data. So I told you that data engineering team or data ETL testing team will have a basic, basic requirement is that you have to make data proper so that further layer, further people like report generation or the data science people or AI team will have, pure perfect data set and they don't have to do much work on the data set. So if your data set will have lots of null values and lots of incorrect data, then it will be very difficult to predict the data as per those. Okay, remove rows. So if you want to remove rows, one way to deal with the empty cells is to remove rows that contains empty cells. If you see your data here, so wherever the empty cells are there, it's gone. Empty cells none was there. No, using a drop any, you can remove the empty cells. One way to deal with the empty cells is to remove rows that contains empty cells. This is usually okay since data set can be very big and removing a few rows will not have a big impact on the result. Now return a new data set, data frame with no empty cells. Okay, so when you use consider that you have created a data frame here, DF, and then we are creating a drop NA. We are using the drop NA here to remove the null values. Empty cells will be removed here, and then new data set will be stored here. And when you want to print all the data set, so new DF to string will print complete without null values. Without null values. Okay, so this one is there, and then we have the By default, the drop any method returns a new data frame and will not change the original. If you want to change the original data frame, no, use in place true. So when you will use in place true, no, it will impact the original data frame. It will impact the original data frame. Now, if you see here, df, and then this is the data frame, whatever the values are there, it will be stored here. And then if you want, if you use drop any and then in place true, it will impact the original data frame itself. Original data frame itself. It will impact the original data frame itself. So earlier we have created another data frame and we have stored the data for this one in this data frame. So it will not impact the old data frame. Whatever the new data frame without empty cells, it will have the new df will have. So replace empty cells. If you want to replace the empty cells with some other values, so you're gonna use fill any. Fill any. Another way of dealing with the empty cells is to insert a new value instead. This way you do not have to delete entire row just because of the some empty cells. The fill in a method allows to replace empty cells with the values. So in what happened in data science team, no? So what data science team and all they do, no? Like consider that you have the empty cells here. Empty cells somewhere, empty cells are there. Empty. Consider that this is the empty cells. Okay. Consider this is the empty cells. So what they will do, they will find the mean mode and all, median and mode. Median mode, median and they, like that they will find, and whatever the median value it will come, that they will place it here. Median value for using all other values, all these pulse column values, whatever the median value will come, there they will put in the place of null values. So those things are there which they are using it for high level of things. So we are not going in that much level. Now, if you want to replace some data set with some 130. So if you see here, we have replaced with the 130. What was the data set we were having? So data set what we were having as a here. So nan. So another this way you can remove the values and then it will reflect the null values. Replace null values with the number 130. Okay. So where exactly it's replacing 130? 130. So wherever the null values are there, so it's replacing 130. 130. Other places also, wherever you see here 130, they are replacing it by some values. So you can replace with the any other values if you'll mention as a in place true. In place true if you'll mention and the value you can mention here. So now next one is replace only for the specified column. So you don't want to replace all the places. I want to replace only the specified places. Specified places. The example above replaces all empty cells in the whole data frame. But only for the specified columns only I want to replace. Then you have to mention the which column you want to replace the values, empty values with the some values. So consider that calories I want to replace with only calories. I want to replace with 130. So there in calories only it will be replaced with 130. Wherever the null values will be there, it will be replaced with the 130. Replace using mean, median, made. So just you can refer this one. I'm not going in that much detail. Otherwise, just go through this one. And we once we'll have the wrong format data. So if you'll see here, no wrong format data in the sense somewhere here it's the wrong format data is there. Wrong format data is there. So other data in a proper date data, but this one is in wrong format data. So if you want to make it a proper date format, then we are going to use some method here. Cells with data of the wrong format can make it difficult or even impossible to analyze data. analyze data. Okay, to fix it, you have two options: remove the rows or convert all rows in a column into the same format. So convert into a correct format. So these are the data set is there. So we'll see in sometimes. Consider that date is not in date format. So you can use the to underscore date to convert this date data into proper date format. So if you see here, they are using in to underscore data time, which will convert date data wherever it will find the wrong format, it will convert into the proper date format. You see here somewhere in the which column it was having 45, 22, 45. So it was having, now see this one, I guess. Let me hide it, your screen. So this one, no, 60. Consider that 26 row. 26 row. If you see here, now it's converted to the proper date format. Earlier it was some different date format, which was not in good, not matching with the other values. So they have converted into the proper date format using to underscore date time. So cleaning a wrong data. So if you want to clean the wrong data, cleaning wrong data, like if you see here, wrong data does not have the to be empty cells or wrong format. It can just be wrong. Like someone register 199 as 1.99 by mistake, or 445 as a 450. Then how you're gonna clean the data? How you're gonna clean wrong format data? So replacing the values. So nearby values will find out, and then we'll replace the values. So like here, if you above, if you see here 450, which means like if you'll compare with all other this column rows data, no, you'll be able to find that it should be 45 only. It should be 45 only. So you can pass the 45 values here. So you can just replace this one with the 45 to underscore string. So LOC method, you are just replacing with 45. You're replacing with the 45 where it was. Removing rows. So if you want to remove any row which is greater than 120, then you can use a for loop with the if condition, and then those value will be removed. So if you observe properly, where it was 450, seventh row, and then seventh row should be gone. Seventh row is gone here. Seventh row is gone. So import pandas as PD, df is equal to pd dot read underscore csv, this data frame, and then for x in df dot index. If df dot location x duration is greater than 120, then drop that values. Drop that values. Okay. So like this, it will be done in your pandas. Just take more data set, replacing values is done. Just work on the some of the data. So another, another bad data will be there as a duplicate. Whenever you have the data set, the chances or the chances will be there you will have the duplicate data in the into the data set, which will give you wrong data in the data set. So what you have to do, you have to make it correct, or you have to remove these duplicate values. So if you see here, it's these two values are duplicate values. These two values are duplicate values. So which means that either we have to keep one value only from this, or remove the duplicate values. By taking a look at our date setter, we can assume that row 11 and 12 are the duplicate. To discover duplicate, you can use duplicated method. It will give you the duplicated value. Now, if you see here duplicated, so wherever you see here true, so one value only it is returning as a true, because it will be compared with the 11th row. This is one value which is unique only, but compared to this one, this will be true, duplicated. True or false, it will return. then how can you remove the duplicate values? So drop duplicates, drop underscore duplicate, where it's a true, where it will return true, no? Earlier one, we have seen that, like here, wherever it's returning true, remove that row, remove that row. When you'll run this one, when you'll run this one, it will return true. It will return true. So wherever, like see here, 12th rows are gone, 12th rows are deleted. If I'll make it as a false, then what will happen? So all the false will be deleted, I guess. It's not deleted all the false. Okay. So it's not working out. Maybe different method will be there. So as of now, this is the method we are using it. And then you have the correlation and all. Pandas floating something like you will have the histogram. You will have a histogram, then bar graph, and all these things will be there. So this is the type of histogram, I guess. No, this is plotted graph, and then this will be plotting. So there will be three, four types of your graphs will be there. So like this, data science has a histogram. So histogram will be in the block wise. Block wise, it will print the data. And then next one will be, so it went there. So a scattered one like this, a scattered one like this, and then a scattered one will be like this. Like each point will be placed compared to calories and then durations. Like this, wherever it will meet. Like 250, 50. Like it is matching here, so it will place here. So there are so many things are there. So then scattered, then we'll have histogram, and then one will be the bar graph. Histogram, one will be the bar graph. This one is what? Plotting method. Okay. So this is plotting is scattered, and then you have the bar graph, histogram. So there are other bar graph also and all are there. So different things are there. So this is the plotting you can see. We'll see future in the when you'll be working on a report, then it will be useful. So this is the pandas what we have discussed. Just refer this tool and then do practice. And Databricks, we are going to learn more thing on the file system. File, we are going to learn more on the Databricks. So as of now, we'll wind up the call because it's